Hello and welcome to the official No Caps Lore Guide Q&A for 25,000 subscribers. This is going to be a completely unscripted thing because I'm not going to write out a script for all these questions. I have a couple notes, but we're just going to go off that. First of all, thank you to all the new people that came over for my last video. I was not expecting it to be that popular of a video, but I guess people like games made by women, so I'll be sure to do more of that in the future. And I guess we'll get into the questions. This is really weird not having a script, but I'll try my best. So we're gonna start all the way back at the beginning with what is my earliest gaming memory or the first game that I remember playing. This is probably the most asked question, and unfortunately I don't have like a solid answer, but I have a lot of games that I remember playing pretty early. I just don't know what was the first one. I played Spyro on some family members' PS1. I just remember thinking it was really cool. I really remember that first level very vividly. I remember also playing SSX Tricky and Katamari in my cousin's basement, which was really fun. Especially Katamari, I was like, I've never seen anything like this. How is it even allowed to make a game that's like this weird? And then my dad used to play a lot of PC games. I remember when I was too little to actually play them, he would play Tomb Raider, Prince of Persia, some like edutainment games, Putt Putt Saves the Zoo, Jump Start, I think second grade. My first console was a DS. I don't know if that counts, but I got one in third grade because everyone else was getting one and I thought it was the cool thing to do. And then I got a Wii at some point, like the year later. So I kind of grew up like with Nintendo stuff. Another question was, did I grow up playing more single player or multiplayer games? And mostly it was single player games. I did play like Club Penguin, Webkinz, Poptropica. Minecraft was probably the next one when I got a little bit older and discovered that you could like go on different servers. I liked survival games. I was pretty bad at it, but that was just really cool to me that it was like Hunger Games but in a video game. At some point in college, I got into Overwatch for like one summer. My friend got me into it and I did voice chat like once or twice and I got made fun of for being a girl, so I didn't do that again. And then we have a lot of questions about YouTube. Why did I start the channel? So probably like a lot of other people on here have said, I grew up watching YouTube since I can remember, since it like came out in 2006 or whatever. I had a couple random YouTube channels at different points in my life that I'm not going to disclose, but nothing like that really stuck around for long. But I started this channel, I started like actually making videos in 2022, like 3 years ago. So I was kind of in between jobs and I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna be a YouTuber. I really don't know like why that specific moment I decided to do it, but I was like, well, if I'm gonna talk about something, I guess it could be video games because they've always been a part of my life. They haven't been like a constant thing. Like it would kind of come and go in waves that I would be into games or like whatever console I had at the time. So it's like, yeah, I guess I know a lot about video games, and there were some upcoming games that no one was talking about, and I was like, yeah, I'll make a little video about it just in case anyone else searches for it. And you know, if I get money, that would be great. If not, then I have a YouTube channel, I guess. Someone asked me about the colors on my channel. It's like pink, purpley, blue, and if they're my favorite colors, and I guess, yeah, I like cool colors. They're pretty cool. How do you keep yourself updated about new games, and what is your like routine to find them? And pretty much it's just constantly thinking about them. I do find a lot of stuff through Blue Sky. Pretty much if you go on there and you follow like a couple cool developers, you'll start to see them posting, like reposting from other developers that you haven't heard of, so you can kind of just, things will grow from there. If you're really brave, you can go on Steam and find games. If you go into like the new release tab and just look at not new and trending, but just all new releases, I'll sometimes find cool demos through that, but you have to sort through a lot of probably unwanted stuff, so I wouldn't recommend that unless you're willing to dig through some interesting stuff. How did you approach content creation / gaming journalism as a beginner? Do you have any advice that we give to aspiring creators that you would have found helpful when starting out? So the tip that I came up with, if I had to say just one thing, is after you release a video, edit, upload, just move on. Which is easier said than done, but really try not to get like hung up on how it's doing, because in the beginning it's probably not going to do anything. No one's gonna watch it, and that's just the way it is. So you have to just like immediately get excited for whatever your next idea is. But I'll be making videos and I'm already excited for whatever the next thing is, even though I'm working on something else and I just have so many ideas that I need to get to. So it's like I have to do this video so I can get to all the other cool ideas. And then same thing, like, how do I stay motivated? Doing this is kind of just in my blood at this point. I can't not make videos. Like, I've been posting less over the past couple months. I used to post 2 to 3, like I was doing like 3 times a week, just as much as I could. My videos were like a little bit shorter. Now I'm more of like once a week-ish, but I'm always working on something, even if I'm not releasing videos as much. So, and I also want to do this full-time one day, so I have to keep making videos in order to make that happen. Do you ever consider appearing in your videos? Definitely not. I maybe thought about it for a second, but once I like show my face, it's something that I can't take back. Yeah, can't take it back, so sorry if you want to know what I look like. It's kind of my profile picture, which the person is covering their face with their hand, but like that's kind of my haircut. But it's not pink, it's like dark blonde. So just imagine that person is me, that if I had pink hair. Do you ever feel discriminated against or anything similar from your content creation? Really, no. Not until the last video I posted about games made by women. I blocked quite a few people from that, but you know, they just made themselves very clear who didn't belong, so like they outed themselves as losers, so I just blocked them, and a bunch of way cooler people came along, so I think it worked out for the best. Are you aware of the ASMR properties of your voice? I've definitely gotten comments about my voice, although ASMR, I feel like, specifically like the whisper thing when they like go like this, that kind of creeps me out, but I don't know. I know that some people like my voice, which is something that I never thought about because it's just my voice. And then I guess related to that is, are you as relaxed and as chill in real life as you sound in your videos? If so, how? I guess I've heard, I mean, people have told me that I'm chill, I guess, but sometimes I don't feel chill, but I think on the outside, I usually appear chill, but you know, I get stressed out like everyone else. Man, just go with the flow, right? Do I have another job, or do I just do YouTube? Yeah, I have another job, because if I just did YouTube, I would be able to pay like 1/3 of my rent and then not buy anything else. So I have another job. What is that job? Well, let me answer this other seemingly unrelated yet very on the nose question before I get to that. Italian pasta or Asian noodles? Just generally, not a specific type of either. Asian noodles, for sure. I love pasta, but Italy is just one country. Asia is a bajillion countries that all have amazing different kinds of noodles. Ramen, Thai food like pad Thai, drunken noodles, pho. Unfortunately, to Italy, I'm gonna have to go with the noodles. But back to my job, I actually make pasta every day, Monday through Friday. Mixing the dough, doing spaghetti. I don't cook pasta, I just like make the noodles and then we sell it to like local restaurants. So it's pretty fun. It is kind of hard work. It's a lot different than having a desk job, but that's what I do. I want to do YouTube, just YouTube. One day, I don't know when that's gonna happen, but hey, if you got a couple bucks to throw around, I have Patreon, Ko-fi, and YouTube memberships, you know, just saying. And then of course, naturally, we have a bunch of questions about video games. What is the game that got me into indie games? I think it was either Fez or Journey, it was one of those. I started playing indies when I got a PS4 and I was just like browsing the store and I saw all these games that were like not the big ones that I usually would hear about. And I thought Fez looked cool. I was like, oh, those puzzles and stuff and whatever. And it definitely, like, I was not expecting it to go where it did. And then Journey was pretty magical. So one of those probably is my first like real indie game when I started like actually knowing like what that genre really was. And the game that got me into gaming, like I said, like I grew up playing video games, but I never would have called myself a gamer until around the time of Cyberpunk 2077. It's kind of a long story, but I saw that like 45-minute walkthrough video gameplay thing whenever it came out, like 2018, 2019. I was blown away, encapsulated, enraptured, I don't know, like enchanted like everyone else. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna build a computer so I can like experience this thing like as it was meant to be. You know, made my Steam account then. I think like one of the first games I played was Stardew Valley before I built the PC. So I played that on a laptop. But yeah, once I got Steam, that's when I was like, started like thinking about video games more and just having it be like more of a constant thing rather than just like, oh, okay, I guess I'll play Wii Sports or whatever. My favorite game, it's Animal Well. It just has to be like just the game on its own. I love platformers, puzzle platformers, just like discovery games. And then that on top of the whole like playing it during launch and making videos about it and like talking with the community just like pushes it to #1 easily. Favorite AAA game is, I would say it's Red Dead 2. It's definitely the one that I played the most besides like Skyrim. Red Dead like is the first game that I played where I realized that you could really just like take things slow and like not all games were action packed and whatever. Oh, I didn't write down an answer for this one, so I'll just do it off the top of my head. Favorite game character / villain. I'm gonna skip that one. Okay, sorry. I'll type it out in the comments, maybe. A desert island game, so if I was like trapped on an island and I can only have one game, whatever. UFO 50 is kind of cheating, but no, it's not. It's a game. It's 50 games, but it would give me like the chance to actually like master all 50 of them and play the ones that I bounced off. It's just kind of the perfect answer because it's 50 games in one. What gaming franchise would you resurrect? This one was a little tough because I don't like have like really franchises that I follow. Like I like Resident Evil now, but that has been resurrected. Also Silent Hill. I've never played a Silent Hill game, but Silent Hill F looks really cool. But I guess like, well, I don't know, Prince of Persia has been resurrected with the Metroidvania and the roguelike, and now there's like another one coming out, so that could be cool. Tomb Raider also has been resurrected, but I wish that they did it differently. I only played the first new Tomb Raider, but it's more like Uncharted than like Tomb Raider. Like I went back and I played some of the like remastered collection, and the first Tomb Raider is so special, like the level design and everything, and I wish that the reboot was like more puzzly and just like, I don't know, had more of that same kind of vibe. What's a genre you don't typically gel with, and what piece of media is the exception to that rule? I came up with 2, Hades for roguelites, and then Slay the Spire for, I mean, it's a roguelike, but for like turn-based stuff. I just get turned off when something is called a roguelite. Like, I'll give things a try, but most like typical roguelites are just not that interesting to me. And then turn-based, I want to like turn-based games. Like, I played like the preview of Clair Obscur And I thought that was really cool, but then when I was actually playing the full game, I just was like, I just want this to go faster. But like everything else about the game was really cool, but I just couldn't get into it. Biggest hear me out game that has like a low rating. I can't really think of any for this. I'm gonna say Snake Pass, which is like this 3D platformer where you play as this snake, but like the controls are really slippery. Just because I remember it having like people that just did not like it at all, but I'm like, I love that it's like kind of hard to control. It's like it's an underrated-ish game, Snake Pass. What are my thoughts on handhelds? I really like handhelds, especially like Nintendo like the DS, like come on, like that's so awesome. Dual screen, like the stylus, there's so many cool things that they did with that. And especially like having games just for a handheld. Recently, like the Playdate, which I don't have one, but it's a really cool idea. I think it is kind of expensive for what it is. It's like really tiny and not colored, but there's a lot of really cool things that people are doing with the Playdate and like the crank control thing. So hopefully more like cool stuff like that comes out. And I have a Steam Deck, which is really nice just to sit on the couch, but I don't really consider that like a handheld because it's just my computer, but like on the couch, so yeah, I like it though. What makes certain janky games enjoyable to you? I would say when the jank isn't like actively working against you, but like you can kind of exploit it. And then the first thing I thought of was in Skyrim, how you can just like climb up a cliff with the horse is really fun example of jank, and just pretty much that whole game, and like Fallout 4 and probably every Bethesda game. And just like funny bugs, not bugs that like break the game and like, oh, my save doesn't load, but like, you know, the funny bugs where like things are floating or like a guy walks through a wall, stuff like that. And then we have a little speed round about like specific games. Have you played the Roland Rascal demo? I have. I was gonna make a video on it whenever, but then I got distracted. I really like it. I think it's cool that you can go fast or slow. You can kind of like speed run the game, or you can like explore it more. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna play that game. 3D platformer, awesome. My thoughts on Silksong so far. I'm really enjoying it. I like the difficulty. I'm almost done to Act 1, I think. I played it like 20 hours in 3 days, so I've been taking a break, but I think I'm gonna play it again tonight. I really like it. I'm not gonna I don't have plans on making a video about it, so you can consider this my review. The pogoing is difficult. I just pretty much agree with what everyone else is saying. The money thing is kind of annoying sometimes, but also I just get good, right? Have I played Rain World? I did like 3 years ago and I bounced off of it. I don't know, like maybe if I gave it a try again, I would be more into it now. And this is kind of goes into the next question of what is your least favorite game that you wish you liked. I wouldn't say it's my least favorite game, but it is one that I wish I liked because I know a lot of people really love it. I didn't like the pressure of like the monsters always coming after you, but I don't know. What is the coziest horror game? Definitely Crow Country, which is like set in an abandoned amusement park. It's so cozy. And you can turn the monsters off, so that makes it just like an adventure, exploration, creepy, cozy game. Also, Resident Evil 1 is really cozy, exploring the mansion. It's like storming outside. There's like, it's great. It's great. Great vibes. What's the most beautiful game that you have played? One that I haven't played is Skate Story because it's not out yet, but that is probably like just the most stylish game that I've ever seen. But for ones I have played, maybe Journey. It kind of showed me that games could be art, and just like the music and like the landscapes is all really cool. And then my favorite game art style, I was like, oh, well, I like pixel art, and I'm like, oh, I like the like PS1, you know, thing. So I think anything that feels these like nostalgic things, but that are like modern also, like Animal Well, it's a pixel game, but it has like really cool lighting, or like The Big Catch is like a 3D PS1 style game, but it's in a modern way, if that makes sense. In which game's world would you like to spend a day in? Caravan Sandwich is very pretty. Like I think it's like coastal France. It's just got these cliffs and the sea and forests and like all these like different biomes. It's just like this like little open world that I would love to explore. It's really sunshiny and lovely. And then gamepad or keyboard and mouse. Gamepad most of the time, unless it's like a first-person game, but any kind of platformer, anything that's like more fast-paced, gamepad. And then I can sit on the couch and play also. I got a couple questions about making my own game. Would I ever do it? And what would it be? What mechanics would it have? I don't know. I wouldn't be able to do it on my own. I think I'd be a good idea guy, you know, like, oh, what if we did this? What if we added this? But I don't know. Definitely not something in the near future. If the opportunity came along, maybe, but I would definitely do something that was filled with secrets. Probably a platformer, puzzle-y platformer, breakable walls, hidden rooms, mind-bending, like revelations, all that good stuff. Something I want to see more of in games, demos, which are really popular now. Even like 3-4 years ago, like when I started the channel, they weren't as popular, but there are a lot of games that I have bought just because I tried the demo. The first one was like Yoku's Island Express, I think. I played the demo, I was like, this is amazing. I immediately went and bought the full game. Also, Superland, played the demo, and I was like, I need to play this full game. So, I love demos. Give me more demos. You're watching right now. I guess I should have said this before. Just a bunch of random demos that I'm playing, and I'm going to put them all in the description if you want to check any of them out. Then we get into hobbies. So we got the favorite book, movie, show, and music. So, because I'm so into video games, I'm less into all of this other stuff, and I only have so much time in the day. So unfortunately, books come in last place for me. I haven't read a full book for a couple years. I think the last book that I really liked was The Martian. I read a lot as a kid, but it's just something that unfortunately I don't really do anymore. And then movies are next. I don't know why, I would much rather watch a show than a movie. Because I'm like, oh, movies are so long, like it's like 2 hours, but like a show is longer than 2 hours, but it's broken up. So sometimes if my partner wants to watch a movie, I'll be like, okay, can we just watch half of it, which is really lame, but I don't watch that many new movies. Like the last ones I remember really liking, Everything Everywhere All at Once was good, Parasite was good, Shrek, always a classic. For TV shows, my favorite TV show, yeah, so I don't have a favorite movie, honestly. Do I have a favorite book? No. Favorite TV show, Last Airbender. I've watched that like multiple times. It's just like such a comfy thing. And then recently I watched the Apothecary Diaries, which was pretty good, but the end, like the second season was like, meh. I think there's another season, so we'll see about that. Oh, Arcane is also a really good show. And Blue Eye Samurai, another recent one that was pretty good. And then music. I do listen to a lot of music. Music is like my next biggest thing after games. So I listen to like different music at work than I listen to like at home. At work, it's like more upbeat stuff. My boss got me into Deftones recently, Turnstile, and then just like 90s hip hop, Tribe Called Quest, like Joey Valence and Bray have been killing it recently. Jev, been listening to Gorillaz, just like random stuff. My all-time favorite, two favorite artists, I can't pick one, is either Flume or Tame Impala. I have in my notes, woohoo Australia, because they're both Australian. Australia, they got a lot of good stuff going on. My favorite like genre is like EDM or whatever, if that's a genre. It's like so broad. Recently I've been listening to Nina Geraci, who just dropped a new album, and DJ Dave. Like whatever that kind of like computer music is, that's good stuff. Purity Ring's got some new stuff. Like favorite albums, really difficult. I mean, Tame Impala, Currents, classic. Visceral by Getter was like really impactful, I feel like. When that came out, like just like really like emotional, deep like electronic music. And then for my like gay music, Immunity by Clairo, that album was huge for me. Chaperone, huge. Although I hope she doesn't really get that much into country because I don't really dig that. Muna, Devin again has been putting out some good stuff recently. A lot of music. Okay, so what media, game or otherwise, affected you the most as a person? So for music, I'm gonna say when I started listening to Odessa and got into EDM in like 8th grade, that was huge for me. TV show, The OA on Netflix is like this like sci-fi. I watched that show a couple times and like with different people, and it just kind of like blew my mind, and I'm so sad that they canceled it. But Britt Marling and the guy that wrote it have another show that I just like heard about when I was looking up the OA for this, so I'm gonna watch that and hopefully it's also good. And then what's my favorite Studio Ghibli, is that how you say it? Ghibli movie? The only one I've ever seen is The Boy and the Heron, which I thought was good, but I just didn't grow up watching those movies, so The Boy and the Heron, I guess? Oh, sorry, I know I should watch some of those. Favorite food to cook or favorite to eat? I don't really like cooking. My partner does most of the cooking. I can make like decent pasta. I made really good chicken piccata recently, which is such an underrated dish. I also made this, it's like a creamy leek pizza that was pretty good. Favorite food to eat, like I'm really excited to eat ramen. Like it's getting a little chilly outside, so it's like perfect soup weather. If the moon were made of cheese, would you eat it? So at first I was like, no, I'm not gonna eat the moon because then the ocean would have no tides. But then I thought maybe just a bite to see what it would taste like. So 1 bite. Would you rather sneeze hot dogs or cry feathers? Sneezing hot dogs sounds like one of the worst things I've ever heard. I sneeze like multiple times a day. I'm not gonna be sneezing hot dogs, so I will be crying feathers. And then a couple miscellaneous questions about life. By the way, there's probably trucks driving by that are loud. Usually I stop when they drive by, but I'm just going. So, what is currently living on your computer desktop? I've got a notebook where I take notes for specific video games. Right now I'm playing Hell Is Us, which there's a lot to keep track of in that game, so I got a notebook, I got my water, and then I have an extra coaster for my iced coffees, a homemade candle that doesn't smell like anything, and a Lego plant. I think it's like a marigold in a little pot. And then I got my headphones, controller. That's it, not much. It gets really dusty, so. What's the most insane thing you ever did in your life? So at first I was like, nothing, I don't know. But then I was thinking about how I used to go mountain biking like 4 or 5 years ago and how scary that is. Like when you go down a hill that is too big, there are rocks, and you're like, I'm in over my head, but I can't stop. I just have to keep going down until I crash or just can hit the brakes. It was pretty wild. I can't believe that I did that, but I was young and foolish. What's one place I'd like to visit? I don't know. Iceland looks pretty cool. Italy, Japan. I don't think I'd ever go there. I hate planes. I mean, I just don't like that I feel claustrophobic. I don't care that being like however many thousand feet in the sky, but just like sitting that close and being like trapped. I don't like that feeling. So, you know, private jet, I'll go to Japan, but maybe keep it like Europe-ish. Canada's got some great places. Where do I think my furthest subscriber lives? Probably Australia, because that's pretty much the opposite side of the map. Another shout out for Australia. Write in the comments if you're from Australia. Do I have any pets? I don't. My parents have a cat. His name is Shadow. I grew up with him. He's an old guy, but he's such a sweetie. I do want to get cats at some point when I move into a house, so. And then, do I have any hobbies? Not really. This takes up a lot of time. I am kind of working on, I'm relearning Blender, which is something that I did when I started getting into video making. I was like doing animations with Blender, and like the other week I opened it up for the first time, which I'd been wanting to do for so long, and I was like, okay, I'm finally gonna open Blender. I'm working on like another project that I don't want to say too much about, but I will share it here when it's ready to be public. Just like other more like creative video stuff when I feel inspired. And I also want to make a website, which is, it's not even a work in progress yet. I haven't started it, but there will be a NoCaps website at some point. Like I'd like to have like a little blog where I can post like things that aren't related to video games. So those were all the questions. That was a lot. This took way longer than I thought. I was really nervous, honestly. I'm so kind of nervous, like not having a script. It's pretty weird feeling, but thank you for sticking around. Thank you for asking questions. Thank you for subscribing and supporting me, and for being as into weird indie games as I am. And I'll see you all in the next video, I guess.